Hotel worker hitting on me, female solo traveler. Update. I made it out safe. I will not name the hotel here as to not dox myself. I checked out this morning and am on my way home. I told who I only then found out was the hotel manager. Also the only female receptionist during my stay. About the situation and was basically told those in question will be fired. She was super understanding and sweet and pissed at the men and reaffirmed all my concerns, and she was also a solo female traveler at my age, so she gets it. However, one of the workers in question apparently is known by the manager personally and she is tight with his family, so I doubt if he will actually be fired. Which has me thinking I still may write an honest review. After I had left, the owner emailed me directly apologizing, saying this has never happened in 10 years. I did not email her back yet. I'm also kinda petty that they didn't offer to waive my food bill as a firm apology, which was only about $100 USD. All in all, I hope action is actually taken, but I think I will still leave a review explaining all of this and how it was handled, just for transparency and for the sake of other female travelers. I'm an early 20s female solo traveler. I'm staying at a tiny boutique hotel in Latin America that I shelled out a lot of money for. Today, after delivering breakfast to my room, one of the hotel servers asked to take a photo with me, and then without asking took a photo of me. At first I thought it was for the hotel's social media. Hey, I just woke up. But it turned out to be his personal phone. Creepy. Later in the day, the same guy found me lounging at the pool and asked for my Instagram. I said no and told him I had a boyfriend. I then checked my Instagram and saw that 2 of the hotel cleaners had requested to follow me. I'm not sure how they got my name. I wanted to complain to the owner of the hotel, but they were not on site and the hotel email and phone number are answered by the receptionists, who appeared to be close with the other workers who bothered me. I was alone on the property when the guy asked for my Instagram, so I felt uncomfortable. I looked up bad reviews of this hotel after this incident and found that the owner is super rude when people leave bad reviews. So I want to leave a bad review but worry they will bother me about it. Leave an honest bad review after you've left the country. Write it now so you remember the details accurately, but post it once you're long gone. Also, if you can somehow try to get compensation or refund or something. I would never stand for anything or anyone spoiling my trips. I am a female solo epileptic traveler who has been traveling since the age of 25 with shitty legs and mobility, so if I can manage to chew out PPL if someone spoils something, then I am sure anyone can. I doubt that she's getting any compensation judging from what she said about the owner and the staff, but who knows? There's more routes. Section 75. Insurance. Travel agents, if used. Any of the companies book the accommodation on specialist resolutions claim websites. Her health and life is more important than any money in the world, but once she is somewhere safe and secure, then it's time to MK the PPL who put her in the fearful mindset pay. Well, that's how I roll. Get what you are saying. But I can't see how any booking agencies or travel insurance would pay out anything for feeling uncomfortable. She needs to word it for what it is, and basically it's harassment. Sure, but I doubt harassment is covered by travel insurance. They usually cover things with specific conditions like lost baggage and illness requiring hospitalization and delays. Exactly. Insurance will not pay out for a couple of employees being a bit creepy. The entire travel insurance industry would crumble if that was a viable claim. If OP is able to document a pretty serious amount of proof that the employees are being threatening to the point where she has to leave out of fear for her well-being, then she might get a payout for any nights not stayed. I have definitely received a refund for feeling unsafe and deciding to not stay at the hotel. The agency called reception for me and explained how I felt and why. And I simply left the room keys in the room and drove away. That's good to hear. I wonder what would happen if you had already stayed there for some days? When a woman says, I don't feel safe, people tend to listen. Are well-trained people, I should say. I may have had to fight a little harder to make my case. But I would have. They certainly should. I just don't have much faith in these insurance companies taking care of their customers when they can find a way not to and make more dollar. Deleted. I do support her right to complain. I am not sure why you think I don't. I just don't want her to get her hopes up on getting a positive feedback on it. She needs to prioritize getting to a safe spot for her first. Karen much? Me? Why would you say that? That is an amazing travel agent who did that for you. Definitely keep doing business with them. Sadly, I don't think any travel agents I have used would advocate for me like that. Maybe not insurance, but it can come under health if the person made sure to state that it gave them panic attacks and anxiety. There's always a workaround. But she is more likely to get it BK the credit card dispute claim or booking company route. She just needs to check out and move to a different hotel for her last night. Leave feedback on booking review sites. Make sure management knows about this harassment. Why shouldn't she get a refund for a shitty hotel stay that was due to the hotel's staff and other words something in control of the hotel? The Section 75 law is in place for services not given to the standard as promised. She is well within her rights to ask for a refund or compensation. Can ask. But I don't see how she would get anything. If you could get a refund based on the hotel staff harassing you, there would be a whole lot of people fraudulently trying to get refunds. I'm not saying OP's situation is in any way fraudulent. Mind you, that protection is in place for situations like the room was unlivable or they didn't give you what you paid for, something you can document. They will ask for documented proof as well. That's why I mentioned that she should have get her vid out to MK sure she had proof. I am not a lawyer, but my advice would be now to review honestly how bad they were and wait for the escalation of responses from the staff, because that could be used as proof. She's in Latin America though. Why would an American law apply? Come on. Nowhere in the world will a judge rule a worker asking for your social media as harassment. And insurance will just take her word for it? Have you read travel insurance policies? They don't cover for those stuff. Good point. Lol. She's not getting a refund. She's staying. Not like she's fleeing to another hotel. What world do you live in that you think an owner who reacts like that to bad reviews is gonna offer a refund or compensation? Cause 2 workers added her on Instagram and 1 took her photo. Honestly, he won't care. How do you go about traveling with epilepsy? Always been my dream, but recently got diagnosed and looking for options. Well, I have had a rare type of epilepsy since I was about 11. Basically, I only get seizures under severe stress. It just affects my legs and mobility as I have shitty, shaky, jerky body. When I was younger, then I was proper bad, could hardly walk a step without falling due to lack of balance, but I practiced every day for hours walking in parks and just about anywhere and just wouldn't give up. When I am bad, I tend to book private tours, which can be expensive, but they allow flexibility in the way you can get tour guides to push you in wheelchair. I do group tours as well, if not that bad, as usually PPL are helpful, and I have trained myself to be able to walk linking an arm with a person. If I am having an especially great time walking, then I try to walk and explore myself with cane in hand for in case. I'm the sort of person who says find me a horse, camel, donkey, basically anything to get me from A to B. My advice is plan meticulously and be prepared for anything and challenge yours elf and push your boundaries. I am off to South Korea next month, and at the moment I'm not great at walking, so I am training hard. Now, crystals help to keep your belief, so meditate. Imagine you're going to do amazingly well and go for it. Thank you so much for the advice. It's so inspiring to see someone with epilepsy pushing themselves and letting others know that it is possible to still see the world. In the beginning, my plan was to go solo in a van, and after reading some of the other posts in Reddit communities, I was discouraged. People saying it's impossible and just to stay home. So I'm genuinely so grateful to see someone who's making it possible and sharing their success. You should be really proud of all the hard work you've put in over the years. Thank you for making another person see a brighter glimmer of hope for their future. Less than 3. Definitely get correct travel insurance. Try to recognize your triggers. For some weird reason, darkness can give me a seizure other than stress, so I carry torch always. Do research about the countries you go to, as in mode of transport easily available, etc. Start off going a bit closer to your home country, e.g. I went UK to Portugal for first solo, then next. Due to confidence, Singapore. Confidence is everything, so try to think positive about everything and see the good in any situation. TK extra M. Eds and keep in hand luggage. Always get airport wheelchair service, you don't need added stress. Try to get in lounges if you can. And enjoy everything good and not so good experiences and learn from them. And thanks for the praise, and I hope you have awesome experiences of epic travels and adventures. Never let anyone tell you that you can't do something. Nobody knows you better than you. The brain is a beautiful and cruel thing. It gives us this problem but also gives us the creativity to overcome the problem. I am proud of my achievements, but I am more proud that today I managed to persuade you to live your dream life. I'm rooting for you. Thumbs up. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful you took the time to give me your advice. Screenshots have been saved to camera roll, rolling on the floor laughing. Living in Australia. I think Bali is the perfect spot to travel solo for the first time, family, etc. And you've definitely convinced me to just go for it. I will for sure keep in mind that although we have epilepsy, we have the power to have a positive outlook and can make this life as fulfilling as any other person. Even if things get bad, we keep that resilience. Biceps. I wish you good luck in your travels too, and hope you enjoy South Korea. Genuinely an awesome human. Bali will be awesome for you. Chilling on the beaches and seeing a different culture. I have not been yet, but I have extensively traveled Southeast Asia, so I know the PPL are very friendly and welcoming. Thanks for your kind words about me. I'm just glad to help in any positive way I can. Epilepsy shouldn't stop anyone doing anything. Our brains are wired differently, but that doesn't make us less in any way. Safe travels always, and positive vibes. Folded hands. A service dog may be something to consider. I have thought about a service dog, but with my age and financial situation, I'm not really in a position to acquire one. It's definitely something I'll look into though. Cheers for the advice. Yup. Won't be worth fighting for compensation if safety will be an issue. At this point, you have to leave the hotel safely. That is your goal. Make bullet points, and if possible, screenshots too. Good idea. Seriously. I hear these stories from time to time about people being harassed or threatened by hotels, tour companies, restaurants, etc. because they left a bad review while they're still in the country, or even at the property. Always makes me wonder why. Leave the bad review after you're safely thousands of miles away and there's nothing they can do to cause you additional grief. Leaving a savage review while you're still in country, or worse, at the property, is too risky. 100% agree. Definitely wait till you're far away for starters. And then you can ignore the nasty response from the owner when it comes in. But at least there be a record and a warning to other solo female travelers of what happened. Open HOTS weather radar. Sunny high temperature radar. Climate HOTS weather in Wausau, Schofield, Weston in on United States. You were in Latin America. They think all American women want sex, especially if they're traveling alone, and even more lounging at the pool. Men like women. Hispanic and black men are going to hit on you. Just tell them no. If they persist, find a way to complain to management. I'm sorry it made you feel uncomfortable. But if you don't try, you don't know. And even though they shouldn't be doing that, many who work in hotels are there for that reason, or at least are going to take advantage of the opportunity if they see it as such, and most do. Thank spring breakers and Instagram girls. It's something that's not going to change. Just send them on their way and file a complaint when you have the opportunity. You shouldn't wait to leave the country. If it really bothers you, complain as soon as you can. That's the only way to stop it. Deleted. It is nice to be able to travel places and not feel like the act of entering your name on an online reservation system will lead to strangers looking you up and haranguing you . Ugh. No. Strangers in a bar is one thing. But it's not okay for the staff of a business to proposition customers. Yikes. How much longer are you staying? I would consider moving hotels if you can. I learned after a few scary incidents not to take any risks when traveling, especially alone. If you stay there, make sure your door is really secure and check for hidden cameras. Tomorrow is my checkout. Note to self. Getting a doorstopper next time I solo travel. Wedge a chair against it. You will be okay, and you will make sure they get the review they deserve. Thank you. Less than 3. Make sure to check in here tomorrow when you check out. We will be concerned for your safety as well. I will. I'm late to the party, but it's always a good idea to have your home country's embassy number on lock, as sometimes South American law enforcement is more problematic. Both the embassy and the nearest consulate. If your home country has both phone number and address programmed into your phone. I even do this for benign locations like Canada in case of a major emergency. There are stressful stories from U.S. citizens who were stuck abroad for days after 9/11. And foreigners who were in Brussels at the time of the airport bombing. For example, I meant to check in yesterday, but are you safe? I am really sorry that these gross predator men are ruining your experience. Losers and certain sorts of workers. And the sorts of men that catcall. Feel a sense of power when they can sexually harass the sort of girls and women that they can never get IRL. They make themselves feel better and more powerful by acting in this way and making women fearful. I would still call and let the receptionist know how uncomfortable you were with workers asking you for your social media. Just mention had instead of them being creepy, as that may anger the men and make them defensive. If you can, leave messages on the owner's answering machine. The more people know about the guys coming up to you and making you uncomfortable, the less likely anything horrible would happen to you, because too many people are aware of things. Also, take screenshots of these guys' Instagram pages and your photo that was posted, so that you have that information to make a complaint to the hotel owners. This can help with getting a refund. I would also request a second key from the hotel staff and mention that your boyfriend will be traveling and staying in your room for the night. Or just say you have a guest visiting you. Make it known it's a male guest, that way they are less likely to try and break into your room or whatever else. In the future, always request 2 keys and don't mention you are traveling alone. To give the illusion that you are protected, make sure to say that you are traveling with a male. Men are more cautious around other men than they are with girls and women. If they try anything, they will have to deal with someone else. And if there is anything bad that happens to you, there would be someone who would know early on and would look for you, etc. I would also never be alone with a male. For X, do not let them bring breakfast into your room when you are alone. You can try requesting that it be left outside your door, or you can eat breakfast in a cafe. It absolute Really sucks that girls and women can't have what they want or paid for due to predatory men. There are a lot of tips on YouTube Shorts and TikTok for single travelers and especially solo female travelers. I would then write a full review once you leave the country. Try to name the men too. Mention the fact that one took a photo if you that the hotel email, things of that nature do not work. You can also request a refund from the hotel because you were made to feel uncomfortable and were being sexually harassed. Do this before you wrote the reviews. Or you can talk to your bank and report the fees you paid. You paid for a hotel and not to be sexually harassed. Therefore, the company did not provide what you paid for, which is fraudulent. TBH. Your safety matters a lot more than losing dollar you spent on this hotel. Try to find Hilton or a well-known hotel for the night. Girl, thank you so much for these tips. The one about taking the 2 pairs of keys is life-changing, and I will definitely do that in the future. Yeah, I might invited my boyfriend over tonight, too. I'm so happy it helps. Yes. Definitely do what you can and need to do to protect yourself. You can fight for a refund once you leave the country. Consider then and consider staying at a different place for the evening. Your safety is the most important thing. Also, do not eat or drink at the hotel from now on until you leave. It's quite easy to drug someone. And the people that are creeps are the ones that bring you food. Your photo has been posted online, which is a huge violation. But it also means more workers know what you look like and that you are alone. Such as kitchen staff. I do not mean to be dramatic, but there have been a few recent stories of women getting drugged and assaulted by hotel staff. I was once harassed by a staffer at a very upscale U.S. hotel. It's not just out of the way places or budget places. Was clear this was not a budget place. That have rotten eggs. At least in that case. They paid lip service to my complaint. Told me they had sent the staffer home for the day. And moved me the next morning. They were 100% sold. Which I believe based on a conversation I had with another guest. And couldn't change my room that evening. But by 9 a.m. the next morning they called and moved me to a different floor. And had the foresight to ask if I wanted help doing that or wanted to do it myself. This is actually a sign of good management, since I may be skeptical of the staff at that point. So offer, but don't just send someone to my room. I chose to do it myself in case he managed to say anything before leaving. I am glad that you had help in your situation. Was staying in a small boutique hotel. It's irrelevant how fancy it was because they had a small staff that seemed like close friends. And an owner who didn't even answer his phone with an email that didn't work. A larger hotel like a Hilton or any major hotel chain would at least be more likely to have a larger number of employees at different levels. And a phone plus email that worked to connect her to senior management. You can also use a chair to help secure the door from the inside. Leave tonight if you can. I am more concerned about your safety than the review. Don't open your door. Secure your windows. If you have to, drag furniture in front of the door to secure it. Have a look around your room to see what you can use as a weapon. Bug spray in the eyes. Soap in the face. Hot water. Got a kettle. At his face. Do not hesitate to scream or make a scene if he comes anywhere near your room. Please let us know you're okay. If you can. Take care. Can you go somewhere else for tonight? Another hotel? If he's a worker, he knows tonight is your last night and it may escalate. I would leave. She could always pretend she's interested in extending her stay. Maybe she could make an inquiry about what an extra night would cost her so that he thinks he has more time. I've had to feign interest in enjoying a man's company to get out of bad situations before. For instance, if a man is getting really pushy at a bar, order another drink so he thinks you plan on staying. Pretend to go to the bathroom. And then leave. I feel this. The amount of times I've left out the exit by the bathrooms. Woman facepalming. It was really the only way to feel I could leave a situation safely. Great fucking advice. I really hope Op sees this post. Please also get other self-defense tools. Women are not safe. Period. I said what I said. I've been doing this for too long. Place sounds dodgy as fuck. If you have paid a lot, then I suggest get insurance PPL involved or embassy PPL. I have been traveling solo for over a decade with shitty mobility problems due to epilepsy, and yes, it can be dangerous feeling sometimes, but I believe if you are vigilant and aware, then you should be fine. I have been Johannesburg and nothing happened lol. Agree that the place sounds dodgy and the guy is a creep. But the embassy is realistically not going to get involved, especially when no crime has been committed. More about keeping a record, they are there to make sure citizens are safe. Deleted. A knife is a terrible idea, usually ends up being used on whoever pulls it out. What exactly is gun training going to do when traveling abroad? She gonna go steal guns off a dead cop or something? You've been playing too many video games. Buy a gun while traveling, or depending on the country, bring it with you. Lol at free country. The propaganda got you good. Anyway, gun control works. And more guns leads to more crime. https www.theguardian.com/news/2019/mar/20/strict-firearm-laws-/here's-the-evid. Ents. https time.com/5209901/gun-violence-america-reduction/ https www.lakeland-times.com/articles/study-in-harvard-journal-more-guns-less-crime/ https people.howstuff-works.com/strict-gun-laws-less-crime1.htm https www.scientificamerican.com/articles/more-guns-do-n OT Stop More Crimes Evidence Shows. https time.com/5644578/good-guys-with-guns-l-paso-dayton/ Owning a gun increases your risk of being killed. https www.newscientist.com article, DN 17922 Carrying a gun increases risk of getting shot and killed. Greater than people who carry guns are far likelier to get shot and killed than those who are unarmed. A study of shooting victims in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, has found. https slate.com/technology/2015/01/good-guy-with-a-gun-myth-guns-increase the risk of homicide, accidents, suicide. HTML. https www.reuters.com/article/us-gun-suicide-idusbria 0J1G920140120 Greater than New York. Reuters Health. People may have heightened risks of dying from suicide and murder if they own or have access to a gun, according to a new analysis of previous research. https www.webmd.com/first-aid/news/20190722/guns-in-home-greater-odds-of-family-homicide greater than for each 10% jump in home ownership of guns. The risk of someone in the household being killed rises by 13%. The risk of a non-family member getting murdered is increased only 2% with gun ownership. Researchers found. https www.scientificamerican.com/articles/more-guns-do-not-stop-more-crimes-evidence-shows/ greater than. They found that a gun in the home was associated with a nearly threefold increase in the odds that someone would be killed at home by a family member or intimate acquaintance. They have little door alarms too. They also have those portable poles you can put against the door. We have them at our house and they go on trips. They sell door stoppers that make an incredibly loud noise when they're opened. Once when I was a young solo female traveler, the son of the hostel owner tried to climb through in my window in the middle of the night when he was drunk. I shouted at him to leave a few times and luckily he did. But seriously, it's not always safe to sleep in the same spaces as men. And even if the place is owned or run by women, they might not at all be cognizant or care about the risks posed to their female clients. Don't wait until tomorrow. Leave now. https://adalock.com/product/adalock/. A small plastic wedge would do the job for most doors. Either under it, above it, or in the locking area. Very light and small to pack too. Definitely invest in one if you travel solo a lot. They're cheap but really handy and work a treat. Best you get in contact with deviantalarm, https://deviating.net, about a door stopper that works. Sadly, so many products are just flawed. A 8.99 door stopper from Amazon isn't going to stop someone hell-bent on raping you. Spend hundreds and stay at the Hilton or a place with armed security. Yeah, maybe they want your Insta info to send it to other people to assess if it is good business to kidnap you for ransom or other ways to make money of you. Don't be brave. Get out of there, leave no trace for them, and tell your friends, family of your next move. Yup. Leave a review once you leave the property or the country. Keep the local police numbers in your speed dial. They don't say what country they are in, but depending on the country, calling the police may cause more problems than it solves. Also, I'm not entirely sure that a crime has taken place or ever will. No one is saying that it has. That's why people are saying to just keep the number. Jesus. Reddit never fails to make an argument out of something nobody stated. Lol. We can go for coffee and break down what role the police serve if you really want. Just out of curiosity, in this situation, once she leaves the country, what would having the police's number do for her in the instance? If she leaves the country, she doesn't have to keep the numbers handy. But if only she's in the country and just out of the property and leaves a review, chances are she might get confronted by the rude property owner or the creepy guys in person. So then the numbers handy would be a better option. OMG, I misread that woman facepalming light skin tone. I get it now. Smiling face with tear, ha ha ha. I was confused too. Multiple hotel staff searching and finding me on Instagram would be a crazy red flag. Searching for guests' social media contacts, likely based on passport, check-in info. Sounds shady and definitely crosses some professional and safety boundaries. Hope you are able to end your stay without any issues, and definitely call out the behavior to warn others once you've left. In Morocco, I experienced this all the time. As soon as they knew I was from Switzerland, they were all over me. I have an icky feeling every time I think back of my trip there. Please remove your full name from your social media. As you can see, it's not safe. Leave your review after you've gone. That's what I'm planning to do. And name names. Good luck. Stay in public areas until you leave. Maybe he will leave you alone if others are around. However, if it's just employees, that's a bad idea as well. Maybe lock yourself in room and sit against the door and forget about sleeping for a night. This is why I stay in chain hotels if not part of any group, or pretend I am a VIP. I'd suggest confronting in person, because if they take the complainant seriously, you should be able to receive some sort of compensation. They're probably more likely to act upon it too. TBH, I think you should get to the nearest well-known international hotel. This has lots of red flags emo and they know you leave tomorrow. It's not worth the gamble. You can always make more money or dispute it later when you are safe and out of there. Actually, this is the best advice. Get out of there now before this guy arranges for you to get sold on the black market. Then get your money back for your stay. Go demand to speak to the owner and tell them you're checking out and want a refund. This sounds paranoid, but make sure you screenshot the requests so you have their names. It's completely unacceptable of anyone to take a photo of you. I was just with my husband in Colombia on a remote beach and a woman who was with some men took a photo of me and I immediately got freaked out about why. It's creepy and unacceptable. Jam the door if you can. Lock the windows. Move around furniture to block entry. Sounds paranoid, but you'll feel better. Creepy. Maybe they looked up your name for check-in. They did for sure. Unless her name is the same on her Instagram. It still wouldn't explain it. Unless she tagged the hotel. They obviously have your name and other info when you checked in. That's how they got your name. Passport details too. I hate giving them that. But I do MK at a point to get very friendly with a maternal or dad looking person so they will look out for my interests, which they always do. Just got to manipulate it properly. And if staff are only young, then it's best to act like royalty from another kingdom. Greater than just got to manipulate it properly. Is manipulation really how you think of it? Those people don't need to be tricked into giving a fuck about their fellow man. In Thailand, it's the law, you give it every time to check in. But check-in is always quick because you just hand over your passport. They check your name against their bookings. They photocopy it. You maybe sign a quick form. And pay if you haven't yet. And then they hand you your key. So yeah, you can't travel there if you don't want to give over your passport. I know I have been. You have to do it everywhere, but doesn't mean I have to like it. Tears of joy, that's what I'm saying, that I hate doing it. Yeah. At least they don't keep it like they do in some hostels or in Cambodia when I went. I did at the time, but never again. Yes. The management and front desk have her name. There is no reason for the cleaners to have her details. This front desk is not supposed to give out info on customers. I had a similar experience in the DR and Turks and Caicos. It was so unsettling. Definitely leave a review. But I'd wait until I leave. What if anything ended up happening, if I may ask? Flip the switch. Take pictures of them cleaning, etc., like a lot of pictures and videos. Tell them you are posting it with your review. Make sure you use their name. Get photos and videos of receptionists too if they are chummy with the creeps. They are probably feeding perverts the info of single female travelers. Be careful. Be very careful what you drink or eat at that hotel. They could put a roofie in there. Put a chair under your room door handle before going to bed. Scan your room for hidden cameras. Be in constant contact with friends who will alert people if they don't hear from you. Don't be so nice, they aren't. In fact, be mean or rude. Aggressive. Sorry this happened to you. Maybe once you leave, fight it with credit card company, or if you used Expedia, etc. That's awful and I'm very sorry that happened to you. It's totally unacceptable behavior for hotel staff. Other guests, it's still bad. But there's a serious breach I'd trust and safety when it's from staff. There's nothing they can do to you for leaving a bad review after checkout. And honestly, if this happened to you, it's probably happened to others before as well. You should name them here as well too, since people will read and see this post and know to avoid that place. Leave the country name and hotel name PLS. Better yet, leave the info here and let's start flooding the hotel's website. Contact info and reviews for the manager that we've been sexually harassed by this guy. He sounds like a predator. If you do write an email, please screenshot the friend requests as further evidence. I'd also write a bad review. closer to when you're leaving. As an alarm for other travelers. Please stay in contact with someone you know. I'm doing all of that. Thank you. Smile. Be safe. Keep us posted. If you're spending a lot of money, pay for a luxury international chain. Get points and routes for conflict resolution. This sounds like a logline of a horror movie. Leave now. Just wedge something in the door and put a chair or table against it. Use the door's chain if it has one. That's all you need to do, and most likely nothing is going to happen, so you're just making certain. As all. Don't try to dispute the payment. It's highly unlikely you would get a chargeback unless you'd gone to another hotel over it. Without that, obviously you used the service and the hotel is entitled to be paid for it. Complaining about the staff is possible. A free hotel stay is not. You can try complaining to the owner about the staff, but I'd wait until the morning when checking out, or better yet, after you've left. A screenshot of the Instagram requests wouldn't hurt. They might be rude about bad reviews, but they're probably just as rude to their staff, so don't assume they'll ignore your complaint. As for Instagram requests, they have your email, phone number and name on the booking. They just put your number in their contacts and the app will probably find your account and suggest connecting with this friend. Email might work for it too. I then checked my Instagram and saw that 2 of the hotel servers, cleaners, had requested to follow me. I'm not sure how they got my name. Did you use the hotel's Wi-Fi? Since your spidey sense is tingling, and it's always a good thing to trust that, I'd consider any site you've visited as being compromised. Change passwords. Make sure you have 2FA, etc. If you're even a smidge worried about your safety, change hotels. Simple as that. Your safety and peace of mind is always the most important thing when traveling. Did you post your location when you took a picture there? No, my account is private. Leave a review detailing exactly the harassment you received from the men as a solo female traveler. You'll be doing all of us an enormous favor. If they want our business, they will have to change. I would say just check out now and go somewhere else. This sounds seriously creepy to me, and also sounds like how sex trafficking potentially starts. Trust your instincts and be safe. I'm sorry you're going through this. Email management and leave a review describing your experience. It's your last night. Block the door with a chair or something. Talk to the female receptionists. They might be more helpful than you think. They're all male. The more I read this sub, the more I think it's time for you to go to the nearest international, well-known hotel. If it's safe to get a car at night, get one. If not, get ready to leave at first light. Go to the big hotel. Call embassy from there and file report. Sankey panky. A lot of single tourist traveler look for sex on a vacation, which desensitizes a lot of locals to the point they think all the single travelers are looking for the D. I would still leave a negative review as soon as you get on the plane back. So hopefully, this garbage will stop. Or at least they can be more subtle about it. From now on, book the room for 2 people. Always pretend there is a male traveling with you. I do that even when I stay in my home country. I went to a work conference 2 weekends ago, and while it was only 90 minutes from my home, chose to stay in town at the hotel the conference was held at because it was an early start for it. And rush hour turns that drive into 120 to 150 minutes of driving. I acted as though my husband was with me with any interaction with staff. Barricade the door tonight. Then if it means moving the bed up against it. The taking a photo of you part is super creepy. I would think someone wants a photo of me so they can send it to some evil fucked up people saying, "How much would you give me for her?" Quote. I've had it happen to me as a guy 3 or 4 times throughout my time in Colombia that I realized, where I 100% believe someone was either taking a ninja pic or recording me on their cell phone. Really have no clue what is up with people doing this, but yeah, it's fucking weird and made me uncomfortable. More than likely it was someone sending the photo and saying, "Look dude, there's a gringo here," or some nonsense like that. Many times I overheard people talking about me in restaurants, at the barb, repeating details of my conversation to others, etc. IDK if they are just very nosy or what, and it was probably just curiosity of seeing foreigners. But it was starting to wear on me over time in the country. For example, I found myself wondering days later why this guy in the barber shop felt the need to tell his co-worker details of my conversation, like WTF? But even if nothing nefarious, just the lack of common courtesy and rudeness of it was bizarre to me. Mentioned these types of secretances to Colombian friends and they just kind of giggled and said that that's just how people are here. They gossip about foreigners. Pertaining to this situation, I can say it's very common for men to catcall and flirt very overtly and publicly with women in Latin American countries, which may or may not be relevant. You grab a woman's hand and ask her to dance. You approach, show initiative, stuff that may creep a lot of women out from other countries. It's quite possible the guy innocently wanted to show his friend the pretty foreign girl, because depending on where this is, maybe they don't pass through often. That is completely possible, and although kind of a strange thing for foreigners to experience, it does happen. Don't know the nationality of the op or where this was in Latin America, but sometimes you get really strange reactions as an obvious foreigner depending on what you look like and how different you are compared to everyone else there. This reminds me of the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley on a cruise ship. You can never be too careful as a woman. Seriously, I think that social media that focuses on a person's looks, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc., is a net loser for society. It's nightmare for privacy even at home. Social media that focuses on what a person thinks and contributes, like Reddit, Google Maps, reviews, etc., is much better for traveling. Still bad for privacy but manageable. The problem with Instagram and Facebook when traveling is that people say "Hey, let's take a photo together and upload it. Hey, let's tag each her." It sounds friendly, but it can also open you up to robbery, harassment, or scams. The photo can be used to get an idea. Where you keep your passport. Where you keep your money. What your luggage looks like. Where is your phone. What you are wearing to follow you later in the day. The best thing to do when a stranger asks you to take a photo with them while traveling is to just politely refuse. Also refuse any friend requests. If you hand your phone over to someone while traveling, it can be outright stolen. Some people might say I'm overly standoffish or paranoid, but so be it. Did you not read where she said the person took her photo before she could even answer? She said, "Greater than today after delivering breakfast to my room, one of the hotel servers asked to take a photo with me and then without asking took a photo of me. So he was in the room for at least a minute or two and did ask something about a photo. Regardless, this is just so unbelievably unprofessional of the hotel staff and should absolutely be against the hotel's policy for exactly this reason. When you are traveling, you are out of your comfort zone. Hotels need to have very strict rules about the privacy of guests. How soon do you leave? After checking out, write a scathing review on TripAdvisor. After checkout, write details to owner and copy it to the Better Business Bureau. This is serious. It is very difficult to feel safe. Try to get the pic the guy took in the bedroom deleted. He is probably posting you or his GF. Creepy for sure. Stay safe. First, make sure you take all precautions. Never get on an elevator with said workers or open the door for them without calling the reception desk. I've heard of hotel staff knocking on doors claiming to be checking or fixing a leak. Never open your door. 2. When you leave, block every worker from all your social media accounts and change your password. Then when you are gone from there, absolutely blow up every review site: Yelp, TripAdvisor, Booking.com, https://booking.com, etc. with your review stating how creepy and inappropriate it was, as well as write to the corporate headquarters with your complaint and the names of these workers. They should not be working there, and even though LA men catcall and pester women, it's a case for firing at a hotel. A good manager will respond to you and your post honestly. They are lucky that you didn't press the issue. Just unprofessional behavior from a boutique hotel. What is the hotel so we can avoid it? Name and shame as soon as you are safe. I personally would get TF out of there. Tell us the name of the hotel. Drop names. It's not hard to get guests' details, but that's a major breach in guest privacy and very unprofessional. I'd recommend asking for a manager at reception and making a complaint, or if you don't feel comfortable, definitely leave a bad review pointing that out. Hotel name PLSSS. I've had situations like this where there was a huge gap between management, ownership, and the hands on staff, reception at a hotel. If your attempts all reach a dead end, then the best action would be to write a very clear and concise review of the property and make sure it's on different sites if possible. I know when I'm searching for a hotel, I look at the reviews, and if there's a pattern of suspect behaviors or actions, someone like yourself should have a decent amount of influence, so these properties will have to learn fast, or they will lose out on now bookings due to poor reviews. When I'm writing a scathing review, I try to keep it just to the facts. If you have photos, screenshots, the friend requests, for example, of something you're describing, make sure to post it along with your review. If management does nothing, this will show future guests, solo female travelers, to think twice before booking there again. Share your story so perhaps they make changes with air staff and training, or they just lose out on business and they shut down. Win-win. Always have someone, like a friend or family, know where you're staying and give them updates. I usually would leave the hotel the moment I feel uncomfortable. I learned never to take those kinds of risks, especially if in a different country. Sometimes you can't also trust the authorities. You'll just have to outsmart people. Leave a review when you're out of the hotel or far from that place. Lastly, block them on Instagram. 1. Which country are you in? 2. You don't feel safe? You feel your life is at risk? Get out. I'm pretty sure your life is more valuable than whatever the hotel cost. I don't understand why you're waiting to speak to the owner of the hotel. Hotel owners are almost never on site. Usually very hands-off. There has to be a general manager you can talk to. I know it may look like the front desk receptionists are friendly with the workers who bothered you. But if you go to them and complain and ask for the GM, they will want to cover their own asses and help you out. What happened to you is not acceptable. I wouldn't be so chill and forgiving about it. Not one single person has suggested going to the front desk, saying something is wrong with the room, and ask to switch rooms for the night. That way the Latin Lothario wouldn't know where Op was. She should then deadbolt the door. If there is no deadbolt, look on YouTube and see videos of how to secure a hotel door with a hanger or a washcloth. The guy probably isn't really a threat. There's actually a fair number of young single women who will travel alone and want some local adventure. He was definitely telegraphing that he's available. Happens with straight women and gay men at hotels. She turned him down and he will likely move on to the next single woman. What country in Latin America? Reminded me of this. https www.reddit.com/r/travel/comments/140og3d/hotel_staff_room_to_flirt/. Once you've checked out and feel comfortable and safe, To do so, name the hotel so others know to avoid it. What you described tells me that these people may be up to no good. I am not sure in what Latin American country you are, but I can assure you as a Latin American guy that if you complain with the police you will be heard and noticed. Laws in our countries are pretty tough on that matter. I wouldn't dare to mess up with that. I'm sorry to hear about your uncomfortable experience at the hotel. It's important to prioritize your safety. 1. Avoid being alone. 2. Inform a trusted person. 3. Contact management about the issue. 4. Consider leaving early if necessary. 5. Leave a truthful review. 6. Contact authorities if you feel threatened. As a woman in some countries it's better to stay in bigger hotels, so you always have people around you in common areas. Leave. Check your room for cameras. I travel a lot and I can say that there were many countries and hotels where I felt uncomfortable and repeatedly faced racism and humiliation. I am afraid to travel alone and never do it. I always invite friends or relatives with me to make me feel more comfortable. Did you make a booking directly with the hotel or with a company like Booking.com or Expedia? Because most of those companies have safety protocols. They can absolutely arrange something for you. Please tell us the exact hotel location after you've left so no other woman has to be victimized and waste money on a bunch of perverts. Door wedges and portable door locks are essential travel kits for solo travelers, especially female travelers. Some people can't take rejection, and as many hotel staffs have master keys, it's better to be prepared, especially if you are staying at non-branded hotels where it's cheaper. Guy took a photo of me. What a creep. I'm going to try and sneak a picture of the guy. Many Latin American countries have privacy and personal data protection laws. You could file a complaint and the company could get in trouble. Op hasn't come back to confirm she is okay. I am okay. I left an update this morning on the main post DW. Yay. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. Relieved now, thanks. I was checking for an update from her as well. If she hasn't responded to your commented, she just told me she is okay. Phew. Thank you and thank goodness. I think you should leave the name here just for safety reasons. In many countries it's considered completely normal for men to harass women. And on top of that, a woman who is traveling alone might be seen as being game for anything. So sadly I doubt that any of the staff will be fired. Best to write a review so others can keep themselves safe. Glad you're safe. Yes, definitely write a review of your experience. They're not going to fire them. And bet it does happen more than he says. Leave a review so that this behavior is forced to end on their part. I also appreciate when people leave honest reviews so that I have the heads up and know what to watch out for as a traveler. Leave the review. She isn't going to fire him. You have to warn other young women. That's awful. Complain about it once you leave the hotel. Talk to the owner too. Check out immediately and dispute the credit card charge. Can I dispute the charge though? My stay was hundreds of USD and I already know the owners will not refund me based on some reviews. Did you book through your credit card? They may help with a chargeback. If you seriously feel unsafe, just eat the cost of the room and bug out tonight. At the very least, shove a chair under the door handle tonight for peace of mind. I booked through my Capital One Venture credit card. You really think they can dispute it? I mean, it was a legit charge, but yeah, I'm scared now of staying here. Don't worry about chargebacks. You won't get one. If you feel unsafe there, just get a different room elsewhere and eat the cost. Your safety and peace of mind are worth it. Okay, I know reviews say the owner is unreasonable, but sometimes reviewers lie. I would inform the owner or manager of this unacceptable behavior over text or email. If they refuse to make it right, you have written evidence. Then, you file a request with your CC company for a partial refund. Usually this is an online form. Include your evidence of his refusal. In your documentation. You may get something back. You may not. But it's worth a try. And I reiterate, a few $100 is not worth your safety. If you feel that unsafe, get out. Contact the owner later and try for a refund then. No. Like the owners replied to the few bad Google reviews and were nasty and unprofessional in their replies. I get that. I also know a hotel owner who is pretty darn good at his job and who I have also seen leave scathing replies on TripAdvisor to guests who clearly made shit up. It's your call. I was suggesting you contact them for evidence for a refund for your CC. If it was credit, yes. Not sure if it will work. Worth trying. But debit, it definitely won't work unless the other party refunds. It is credit. Can I really try to get that refunded? You cannot and will not get this refunded. You have stayed at the property, thus getting the service you paid for. These other people saying you can deny charges have no real world or real life experience. I would have to disagree. Work for a bank and have disputed charges multiple times. This may fall within a product or service being significantly different to what was expected when purchasing. Especially if OP was to leave earlier, they may be able to dispute part of the payment. I would be surprised. I worked for two very large financial services companies for over 20 years. And have extensive travel experience, and I have never had success with this. I see this all of the time where people suggest denying a charge and it's just not that easy. I spent weeks going back and forth over a double charge from a hotel in Prague. After every dispute on my end, the hotel would simply resubmit the charge. I finally had to get physical documentation showing a reservation in AD. errant name from mine before my credit card company would actually agree to the dispute. It's just not that easy.